You are Locked On Hurricanes Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, what is up, Hurricane fans? We got it. We got it. Oh, good Lord. How about that? We are here. We are live, and we are ready to roll. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. Locked On Canes. Trying to get audio so I can hear Alex Donald when he comes on in just a second. So we are working on that. We got everything going right here for you right now. Input, output, and here, let's try that. All right, so there we go. Alex, can you hear me? Alex Donald, host of the network radio show. You got me?
Grace, I can hear you, man. I can barely hear you over the sound of my heart pounding, though.
There we go. What a win, Alex.
Second straight week. Miami was down 25 points. It felt like an impossible comeback. Like I thought, this was way bigger than last week's comeback. There's no way they can do this 2 weeks in a row. Cam Ward, he's not human, Grease. I mean, and he made his worst mistake of the season was in this game. That pick six was just trying to do way too much. Awful decision. And talk about a recovery. And I love the fact that, again, obviously we want Ward not to make mistakes like that ever again. But the fact that he can put it behind him and forget about it and move forward and lead his team back to victory the way that he did is just incredible. You know, I liked how Miami got the running game going earlier than usual in this one. Obviously, again, for most of this game, we didn't like the tackling. The coverage breakdowns were alarming. But there's just something about this team, Grease, that when they need it most to step up and make plays, these guys are never out of a game. But, I don't want any more. Give me some comfortable wins. They're going into the bye week, so get some rest. Let's get Jalen Rivers better and back on the field. But please just give me some comfortable wins. My heart can't take this.
And you got a lot of happy Hurricane fans to talk to tonight, Alex. But what a comeback, man. 35-10 was the score. The defense shut them down for the whole rest of the game. Cam Ward was magnificent. Different receivers stepping up, some big runs. A couple of things with the penalties along the way. You don't want to see those costly penalties that we keep seeing week in and week out. And you certainly don't want to keep spotting teams these big leads and giving them 50, 60-yard touchdowns and pick sixes. But, hey, the Miami Hurricanes found a way to pull it out in the end, Alex. And one more thing I want to say before we let you go, man, is I don't want to see another replay for the rest of the year, bro. We're tempting fate now. We're 2-0. Like, that was too close for comfort, man. That was too close.
Yeah. And it was another thing where, I really didn't – and I know a lot of people disagree because I've seen my X timeline. I really didn't think that was targeting by Wesley Bissaint. I thought he hit him in the shoulder, but I wasn't sure which way they were going to go with that call. And if they had given the targeting after that review, then that basically would have been the ball game. So Grease, thank you so much for having and letting me just I wouldn't even call this venting, just letting me talk. Thank you so much for having me on. Have an awesome rest of your postcast, and yeah, we'll be talking about this win all week long on Locked On Canes. But I know this Locked On Postcast is probably going to be your best yet because they keep raising the bar of difficulty every single week. So hit it out of the park, man. I'll be over on QAM the rest of the night.
At 2:40 a.m. Enjoy it, Alex Donald. Go be on QAM and crush it like always and Locked On Canes day in and day out. Big win, baby. Undefeated still. Alex Donald, Locked On Canes. You'll catch it wherever you get your podcasts. It's free. And, of course, Locked On Canes on YouTube. Locked On Canes postcast with myself. After every game, we're having fun here. And I swear, I don't know why I'm in the dark. I feel like I'm a little bit dark, and I don't know why I have lights blaring on me. You know what I'm saying? But what a win for the Hurricanes tonight. And to begin to unpack this is a little bit monotonous, right? It is comeback Cam. Canes beat Cal. Comeback Cam. This just in. We're live. We're reacting to this in real time as your Miami Hurricanes go on the road to California. They forgot, man. It was late. I don't know what they did. They did not wake up until much later in this game. But in that fourth quarter, I don't know that they could have played any better. And we were sweating that targeting penalty, weren't we? We know. And that's what I was going to say. Actually, excuse me, guys. I was going to say to Alex before he jumped and he had to go be on QAM and do the post-game show there. But we're doing something right in Coral Gables. We're doing something right with the Miami Hurricanes when the announcers and everybody starts to hate us again, right? When Brock Heward is up there going, no, that was targeting. Miami can't win. They can't. It's not right. No, don't let Miami win. No. Targeting, right? The long pass plays, the touchdowns for Cal early, the pick six thrown by Cam Ward, and it was just a nightmare for Miami. Making sure, hey, you guys give me a thumbs up in the chat room if we have audio going good here, right? There we go. The commentators were wanting us to lose. They were hating on us real bad. It was really, you know what I mean? And Reese Davis didn't even have a voice left from the Alabama-Georgia game. And what happened to Alabama today? What happened to those Crimson Tide? All those big upsets for all the ranked teams on the road, and they thought Miami was going to be the last one. They thought it was going to sneak in after midnight. But it didn't, because Cam and the Comeback Canes made it happen again. We got a big show for you. Locked On Canes Postcast. Let me try to get some semblance of order here. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, and I am pumped. 2 weeks in a row, baby. The dreaded hokey birds, those little stupid things. Boom, see ya, gone, right? Now the Golden Bears. What is a Golden Bear anyway? Goodbye the Golden Bears, Jack Nicklaus. Someone should tell them, right? Not Cal. Cal goes down tonight. Welcome to the ACC. You had a home game, baby, and your first home game was against Cam Ward and the Comeback Canes of Miami. And a big, big comeback tonight for Cam and the Canes. You see behind me here, comeback Cam at Cal, and Canes has CA too, right? So comeback Cam, Cal, Canes, all those CA words you got bumping right there. And so we're live with your Locked On Canes postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Always pumped to have you here for every show, and you know that every single game the Canes have been just getting better and better in some ways, but those early leads by the other teams, those early big deficits that the Canes have found themselves in lately is not something that you really want to at all have continue. You know what I mean? You have to figure out a way to come out and play better at the starts of games. The defense tonight, the pass defense got broken down, right? The run defense was good. They did well in terms of time of possession, first rounds and first down, things like that. Overall, when you look back at this game, you're going to see some real big plays that were made against Miami early on in the game, and they really need to clean those up. Just making sure that everything's working right here. You guys got me? There we go. We are right here. Locked On Canes postcast, right? They kept saying we had 4 top 10 losses. Miami will be number 5. That's right. Just like those haters that go, he doesn't give up home runs. And then, bam, there's a home run right there. So the announcers were really hating on us. So I had to be careful because I work for ESPN too. But on this show, who cares? They were hating on us all night long, and they don't want us to win. They don't want us to win. And, yeah, you were scared. Of course we were scared. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, we got to get to 5-0. You got the big old or you got to get to the bye week. You got to get to the bye week at 5-0. You know what I mean? And I think actually now, when you think about it, moving forward into the bye, and it's 6-0 now, right? So you're 5-0, you win tonight, you go to 6-0, and now you have the bye week. So these couple of things, you're so lucky you leave there really holding your breath tonight because you're so lucky to hit that bye week with that win. And now you got another week to prepare for Louisville. You got another week to get Jalen healthy, which is what Alex was just talking about. You got another week to start to clean up and correct more of these things. You have a lot more teaching moments, especially you don't have to travel all the way across the country for a night game. College game days there. Coach has to get there in the morning. Now you got 2 weeks before Louisville, and you can get in the lab, and he's an offensive lineman. Get in there with those offensive linemen. Clean up those penalties. Get in there with those DBs. Breakdowns are happening every game in the defensive backfield, and they need to relearn some of those schemes. Bain was just back tonight. You know what I'm saying? So Elijah Arroyo erased a lot of those things tonight, and so did Elijah Horton. It was a big night for the Miami Hurricanes. You are watching Locked On Canes postcast. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Had a little bit of a technical issue there. You could see me. I couldn't see you, but we're pros, and even though I'm looking at a blank screen, I got it done. But we are back online, and everything is dope on a rope right now, and I can remind you that I am very thankful that you choose to make us your first watch/listen every day. Locked On Canes postcast with myself and Alex Dono. Thank you for being here every day, and we are free wherever you get your podcast, plus on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And tonight's episode of Locked On Canes postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. And you know this, right? brought to you by FanDuel. And you hear me talk about FanDuel all the time. Place your first $5 bet, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Big win for the Canes. We're going to have the start of the game, the turning point, the final score, and all those graphics for you coming up. They did a great job putting them together for me. And we're going to break down exactly what happened in this game. Miami playing pretty much perfect football in the second half. The fourth quarter especially. Late third quarter, it's 35-10. They score, make it 35-18. And then it was score, stop, score, stop, score, stop, score. A little bit of a heart attack in there with the replay. We're going to break it down as we continue with your Locked On Canes postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. Let it out, Miami. Woo! Let it out. That was a tough one. 2 weeks in a row. Heart attack city. I just came back off a 2-week trip. I did last week's trip in Connecticut at my brother's house, turned his basement into a studio. I was going crazy down there, crazy here back home in my studio this week, and I am unbelievably pumped to get these wins, but actually really worried about why the Miami Hurricanes put themselves in the position that they did. Both of these games in a row. We will talk about those things and more, as well as the greatness that we are seeing every single week. The Heisman moments for number one, Cam Ward. What a win for the Canes. Comeback Cam does it again. Yeah, he's going to New York. There's pretty much no way that's not happening now. All right, you're watching your Locked On Canes postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And I am really excited to talk to you right now because you know what's coming. And you know that when I talk to you about FanDuel, it's on like Donkey Kong. NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. That's right. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game like we all do, right, you can check out the latest stats. You can view live play-by-play and so much more, and get paid while you're doing it. So much more on the same page where you place your bets. All of it in one spot with FanDuel. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. And the Canes didn't cover the spread tonight, but that over looked pretty good, didn't it? That over looked pretty good. Thank you so much. I want to say it again. Thank you. Every single week, the numbers have been huge. Every single week, the numbers are going up on this show, on the Dolphins show, the Marlins show even finished strong. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for following me over. Those of you who were hitting me up and calling me and messaging me last weekend on ESPN Radio when I was in Bristol, you guys were smart. Got on my social media at Jim Grease _ Jim Greis at Jim Grease _ to check out those shows and hit me up and get involved there. That was really nice too. So I appreciate all you guys. Love you. And a big night for the Miami Hurricanes tonight. Win, no cover, but you're 5-0. You are 5-0, 25 points down they were tonight. The 5-yard pass to close it out to Elijah Arroyo. And those two Elijahs, man, Horton and Arroyo, have been really good this year. 39-38 the final. They come back from the 5-point deficit. And, keeping pace with Clemson. They're 3-1 in the ACC. Clemson beat FSU this weekend. So 4 straight touchdown drives to end the game for Cam Ward. 4 straight touchdown drives to end the game for the Miami offense. 5 straight stops to end the game. I'll count them officially in a minute for the Miami defense. And, first time College GameDay ever went to Cal. They were 3-1. It was their ACC home opener. They had a 25-point lead against Miami late in the third quarter. They had a replay that almost got overturned on a targeting penalty that would have sealed the deal. No. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how many degrees you are. I don't care what engineering courses you take. I don't care what your major is. I don't care where your daddy plays golf, Cal fans. I don't care because you just got beat. What a great comeback that was by the Miami Hurricanes. What an awesome performance by Cam Ward to do that again. Back-to-back weeks. Now, obviously, this wasn't Alabama, Georgia, right? Back-to-back weeks. But still, big comebacks from Cam, big wins for the Canes, and you have to be really excited about that. You really just do. You have to be really excited about that. And now it pops up. That's literally like 14 minutes later. Sometimes things get stuck in the system and you hit it to pop up. So we'll leave FanDuel up for a minute because they were supposed to get a minute during that break. But guys, what about these replays back to back? The targeting would be call And that was like, I was sweating that. I was sweating that on Wesley Bassane. That was a nice hit. If you call that targeting, then go play flag football. I mean, the girls' teams have powder puff. My daughter plays. There's nothing wrong with that. My son plays tackle. You know what I mean? If that becomes a targeting penalty and not a tackle on a football field, I will rip this jersey off my body, burn it, and beat someone with it. I swear to God, that was not targeting. That wasn't even a hard hit. It was a regular tackle on a football field. Come on, man. These are young kids playing full speed. The face mask on Bane was a good call. He can't do that. He got the shoulder pad, came by, got the mask. Yeah, bad calls. You know what I mean? Yeah, a good call is a good call. But targeting on that, I'm glad that the officials had common sense, and I'm glad Brock Heward, I think it was Brock Heward, he kept calling him Brock. Well, anyway, but the only Brock I care about is Brock Berlin. But what I'm saying is when the Miami Hurricanes put themselves in that hole 2 weeks in a row now against Virginia Tech and now against Cal, it's fool's gold, man, because you believe you can come back anytime. You're locked in. They're locked in, and they believe, like, hey, no matter what, we are going to come back and get this done. And that is not the case. That does not happen on a regular basis. You cannot keep playing with fire, because eventually, you know what I'm saying, you get burned. But looking at this schedule now, which we'll do in the third segment of the show, and unpacking it moving forward, week by week, game by game, understanding you don't need to go undefeated, but you do want to win the conference because you play in the ACC, and you can never take for granted that you'll get 2 in. With those fools in the SEC and all their fake. Alabama lost to Vandy. I mean, how good is the SEC? Really, think about it, right? Ole Miss lost to Kentucky. I know they love themselves. It's great. And they actually probably really love themselves. Hence, like, I'd like you to meet my sister and my cousin, and it's the same person. Just kidding, SEC fans. You know, I love you. I'm kidding. It's football trash talk. Don't be sensitive now. Don't be sensitive. So an 18-yard TD pass to Isaiah Horton with 10:28 left, cuts it to 38-25. What a performance by Cam Ward down the stretch. I mean, I did not see, maybe these announcers should have been busy looking at his historic numbers, telling you how many passes in a row he completed, telling you about his other comeback drives, and comparing them to this one. Instead, they spend 20 minutes bitching about a targeting penalty. Look, I want my kid to play football against their kids. If that's the way their kids play football, my kids would light their kids up if that's the way they play. You're whining 20 minutes about a penalty, bro. You're supposed to be talking about the game. You're supposed to be using the words along with the pictures to paint the Picasso that Cam Ward was giving us for the second week in a row, man. Where was that? I'm not here to rip ESPN. I'm just saying you're busy whining about a call that they didn't make instead of, and then they went last week too. Return it. They hate Miami. We're back. When they hate us, we are back. So the Hurricanes forcing punts. The Hurricanes playing great defense. Restrepo gets the 77-yard catch and run from Cam Ward. That was awesome too. And that was, you thought he might score on that one. And they switched to his zone for the first time. How smart are they really at Cal? They switched to his zone. And it is what it is, man. 3rd and 20, Cam's hitting. He hit 4th downs tonight on these drives. It's just, he's throwing jump passes. He's barely, not all the way over the line of scrimmage. Presence of mind to not go over. 33 of 53, 437, 2 TDs and a TD run through the 40-yard pick six. That was his worst play of the year. You heard Alex say it when he came on. And then Fernando Mendoza. You got to feel pretty good about Fernando, man. He's a Miami kid, grew up right around the corner from the U. Didn't get recruited by Miami, wanted to go there, and not a part of the program, but really put together a great performance in the first half tonight. Third quarter a little bit, but in the first half especially with the 2 long TDs and showing up and showing out against his hometown team, which was good for him. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Yeah, they won, TNT. They won. And Texas Tech too. Yep. Reese Alabamas is an Alabama homer. Yeah, he is, man. The commentators are biased without a doubt. And I love please, guys, while you're here in the chat, take a second to subscribe to the channel. We're new. We want to give you the content myself, day in and day out. Locked On Canes postcast. We got the Canes, we got the Dolphins right here on this channel, and would love it if you guys could give us a subscribe, hit that bell so you know when more shows are coming. Numbers going through the roof right now, and every single week, I'm a University of Miami alum. Alex Dono is too of Locked On Canes. We both work at big radio stations. I work for ESPN. He's hosting the post-game show right now on WQAM. So that's my best sales job for you to tune in to Locked On Canes in the postcast because we're undefeated, baby. We're 6-0. We got Louisville coming up. So after this break, we're going to look at the schedule coming up. We're going to chunk it out. You know what I'm saying? Like the coaches and players do where they look at this week one at a time now. You got 2 weeks to get ready for Louisville. Louisville is no joke. That's going to be a very tough game. And if they do not clean up that run defense, which they were better tonight, and if they don't clean up the breakdowns and the missed assignments in the defensive backfield, they're in big trouble against Louisville. And then the other thing is the offensive line with stupid penalties. As good as they are, as experienced as they are, they got to cut that crap out up front, right? Am I the only one? You with me? Who's reading me? Let's go. Locked On Canes postcast, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, plus the star of the game, plus the turning point, and the final scope. 39-38, the Canes beat Cal. Locked On Canes postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, undefeated, right now, every day. And I only have one question for you, Hurricane fans, and that is, what time is it? What time is it? It was game time, but it's always game time for the Hurricanes, and it's always game time with the Game Time app. Absolutely. Man, when I think about game time, I think about memories. I think about going to games of all sports. I think about baseball stadiums and football stadiums and arenas, and all of them are gone now, but I went there. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Grampy. Thank you, Mom. I went to so many of the greatest stadiums, arenas, and temples and shrines you'd ever imagine, sports, concerts, everything. And it was such a pain in the butt to get those tickets. They'd come in the mail, or you'd wait in line, and they're paper tickets. You could lose them. You could get them wet. The dog could eat them. Who the heck knew? Now we have Game Time, and Game Time has features that make buying tickets easy. Like you can see the view from your seat right in the app. Like, right here on my phablet, I can see everything. Anyone can see this, right? With Game Time, you see the seats right there. You get their best pricing, curated deals that make it easier for the best price on great seats, including Game Time Picks, their new feature. It makes getting tickets for your favorite live events that much easier. All Game Time Picks does is filter out the fluff, show you only the incredible deals that you'll want on great seats, so you don't have to go through all the rest of that crap searching through thousands of tickets. It's annoying, you know what I'm saying? And you'll find deals in there too, like flash deals, zones, 50% off Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and a big game down the stretch playoffs on Labor Day. Deals like that you'll get on Game Time. You get the seat views before you buy. You get the super deals. You get the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection. Hopefully they're not going to fire me after tonight, but I'll tell you what, you are the priority at Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? 6-0. Game Time on the Locked On Podcast Network. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. We roll in. There we go. Out of that break. Thank you so much for being here tonight. There we go. And being here every week. Of course, you can catch us wherever you listen to your podcast. Tell your friends about us. After tonight, you can watch it on YouTube. Tell your friends wherever you get your podcast. That means Apple Podcasts. That means Spotify. That means iHeart you. You get it? I got the jade ring on. That's good luck tonight. We got that W, baby. 6-0, 2-0 in the conference. Look, the defense was huge late with those consecutive stops, but it was not so good early. The big plays by Fernando Mendoza in that passing game, 57 yards to Jack Endries, 51 yards to Tron Grizzle that set up Jaden Ott's 5-yard run, and it was Ott scored again, 66-yard catch and run, 2 touchdowns for him. So 2 touchdowns, one almost 60 yards, one plus 60. And then the other play, that was 51 yards as well. So you have a 59-yard touchdown pass to Javion Thomas in the third quarter as well. So all those big touchdown plays, man, you just can't be having that. That is inexcusable to give those up. The tackling has to be way better. The coverage as well wasn't what it should have been tonight, guys. But, at the end of the day, what matters here is that O for the U. And that means undefeated. That means 6-0. You got the bye week. You got Louisville coming up. And I am about to take care of a couple of bits of business real quick here before I wrap up the show. But I want to say this, man. Miami, just unbelievable tonight in the second half. And the way that they played from the time it was 35-10 California, right? Cal scores a touchdown, 5 plays, 80 yards, coming off a Miami punt and an interception before that, right? So that's when Cam had thrown the pick 6. So then they punt, and then Cal gets the ball, touchdown. Miami, touchdown, Cal, field goal. From that point on, Miami scored to make it 35-18, 12 plays, 75 yards, 5:04 to end the third quarter. Cal kicks a field goal that would end up being their final points of the game to get the fourth quarter started. It was a 3-minute, 49-second drive that went 55 yards. From that point on, the Miami defense got stingy. From that point on, the Miami defense said, no mas, Cal. I don't care how expensive it is to go to school here. I don't care what your IQ is. I don't care what you got on your SAT or your ACT or any other CT that you took to come here, because you're losing this game. And that's all that matters tonight. So the Hurricanes score on 4 straight drives to end the game. They hold Cal to a punt and then an interception on the last drive of the game. So 3 straight drives with punts and interceptions, and they closed it out in style, the way a great team does, the way a championship level team does. Listen, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. You know this, but you also know it's Virginia Tech and Cal, and you also know that none of those other teams, including Florida, was worth a damn, okay? So we know that. We're 5-0, and now we're 6-0. Didn't think we were going to see the 5. Definitely didn't think we were going to see the 6 tonight after the way that this game started and the plays that were being made in the second and third quarters of this game. But I will tell you this, when you have Cam Ward, when you have that kid wearing number 1 and all those receivers, let's not forget about the Isaiahs tonight, Arroyo and Horton. How good were they? Restrepo had big catches when he needed them. But it's just the calmness. I've been on these teams, not teams like this. I've covered this team forever. National championship level teams with the University of Miami. I've been with them. I've traveled with them. I've seen what makes them tick up close. The Dorseys, guys like that. I've seen them. I've been right there, man. I've been right there every step of the way and watched what it took to make those things happen. I've been there, and I can tell you that whatever it is, and I'm not just talking about the University of Miami. I'm talking about Michael Jordan. I'm talking about Tom Brady. I'm talking about those athletes who have the gene inside of them where they never get rattled when the heat's on, when they're in a big deficit and they're on the road and the clock is ticking and you have to get 4th down conversions and 3rd down conversions and you have to score a touchdown to win the game. Were you worried once? Were you? Tell me in the chat right now. I'm sorry I can't get to every chat, but tell me in the chat right now. Were you worried at all when we had the ball on that last drive? I was not. I was worried with the fake targeting penalty that you should go play 2-hand touch and put dresses on them. You know, orange and green dresses. They'd have to wear those if that was a penalty. You know what I'm saying? 6-0. Were you guys worried? Damian was great tonight. Martinez was great tonight. A couple of big plays from him too, and the touchdown late. So were you worried on that last drive? No one's going to answer me. You weren't worried. All right, thank you. Yeah, see, I don't think anybody was worried, right? Because you felt that cool from Cam. So if you felt it through the TV or the phone or wherever you were watching the game, if you think about that, you felt it. I felt it. We're not even in that stadium. The fans wearing orange and green, they felt it. The other team's fans, Cal's fans, felt it. Everybody feels the poise, the calmness, the serenity, the winning machismo. The type A alpha dog, Cam Ward. We feel it through the TV thousands of miles away, man. That is about as special can be when you feel it like that. So if we're feeling it through the TV from wherever we are around the world, right? And all those fans on both sides are feeling it throughout the stadium. What do you think his teammates are feeling in the huddle? That's what you're feeling when you have a guy like that. You're ready to run through walls. You're ready to burn down buildings. You're ready to pillage the village on your way out of Berkeley. And you probably should pillage that village. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, big win for Miami tonight. Huge win tonight. And I'm going to say this, man. I did not think it was coming in that third quarter. When they hit that big touchdown pass in the third quarter, and I just sat there and I went, yeah, I really believe that this could end not so well. This really could end not so well right now. And I hate it. Like, I put up every picture of Cam Ward. Like, every picture is of Cam Ward, literally, on everything I ever do. But what can you do? You know, what can you do? The kid is the player of the game every week. He's the player of the week I got to make sure I get the score right on this dang thing. 39-38. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Just a performance for the ages again for Cam. You know, I mean, if ESPN would have just given me some numbers on that last drive, I would have appreciated it a lot more. If anybody has those, Cal punts on their first 2 drives of the fourth. They finally got that pick late, 6-0 for the third time in the last 20 years. 2017, 2013 didn't feel like this, did they? I don't think so. The Bears have lost 10 in a row against ranked teams. Who cares? Miami's at Louisville on October 19th. Cal's got to play at Pittsburgh on Saturday. We'll talk about the Louisville game. Un momento, por favor. Just got to download these. These are the moments. And I don't have. There we go. Star of the game. Who would that be? Just a hunch, but it might be number 1. It might be number 1. All right, real quick, we got you here. And then we are going to get on out of here like Vladimir. And obviously the moment was when Cam Ward decided to put the cape on. I mean, really, when you think about it, Cam Ward chooses to wear cape. There we go. There's your turning point. How about that, guys? We're writing this in real time. See how this all works? This media stuff's not that hard. You guys are right when you tell your friends that. It's nothing. That fool can do it. It's nothing for me. Okay, so we're downloading here. We're going to get these graphics up for you. Really pumped on the Locked On Podcast Network. Momentum is growing. We got a week off next week. I think I might do a show anyway. We're going to do it anyway because we missed the crossover with Alex this week. I was traveling, and I got my times mixed up, and yeah, Alex Dono is the man. He's been absolutely fantastic with me, and I am going to always, always, always be that way with him. Got a couple of things we need to get to here. Ladies, gentlemen, and children of all ages, why are you not? Okay, background, no, you got to come up here. That's why. Here we go. And we'll put these up. Un momento, por favor. But yeah, big win for Miami. We're going to hit the stats real quick. We're going to look ahead. 25-point deficit. I'd like to know how many passes, like what Cam's numbers were late. 35 of 53 for 2-1, 437. Fletcher had 11 for 81 and a TD with a 28-yard run. I like Fletcher. And you talk in the chat, a couple of you, about using him the way they should. I like the way they're using him. He's a big, strong, bruising dude who's got the jets. You know, I'd like to see Martinez as a big dude too. So they have that 1-2 punch. He's a little quicker. They're both big and strong and tough. And then you got Lyle, and you know what I mean? That is really, to me, that's going to be fun watching those guys develop. And Lyle is a home run hitter. But and those receivers are just all over the field, man. Restrepo, 7 for $163, no score. Isaiah Horton, here's a what? 9 for 83 and a touchdown. Jacoby George, 5 for 59. Martinez, 4 for 51. Sam Brown, 4 for 43. Elijah Lofton, 1 for 24 with a big one late in the game. Riley Williams had a catch. Chris Johnson Jr. had a catch. Big night on defense. Big night on defense as well. And of course, Nico got the interception late. They did not get pressure. They had 2 sacks tonight. The pass rush was these last 2 weeks, man. They need more pressure. These last 2 quarterbacks have had way too much time and picked them apart. They're lucky they won these 2 games, guys. They are very dang lucky they won these 2 games. Let's not fool ourselves. The 6-0 is the ultimate. You got the 6, right? You got the 6. You got 6 more. Halfway through, you checked them off as the season started. Man, Florida in the swamp could always be tough. I don't know about that one. They might have a loss there. Maybe, maybe not. FAMU, Ball State, easy. At USF could be real tough. Florida 41-17, USF 50-15. Thank you. Next, right? VT and Cal 38-34, 39-38. Now you go to number 22, Louisville. Then you have Florida State back-to-back. It's the 19th and the 26th, and those are, I don't care what Florida State's record is. I don't care how bad they are. It's been a terrible season. I don't care about any of that. You know how that game is, and you know what that game is. At Georgia Tech, scary. You know, they have the run game. They have the run defense. Wake, and at Syracuse, you know what I mean? Like, this is pretty. It's going to be, Louisville's the big one. On the road next week, and they love their quarterback has 11 TDs and only 1 pick. They're not the best running team. They like to force turnovers on defense. They have a couple of tough losses, SMU and Notre Dame, but they beat Georgia Tech by 12, which is a real tough team, you know, and they've won a couple of other games like that, Appalachian State and whatever. But these last 2 losses, Notre Dame and SMU back-to-back, have pushed them and will probably push them out of the rankings. So here we're going to throw up these graphics for you and get on out of here in just a minute. Of course, it doesn't want to play ball with me. Every single time I want to upload one of these graphics, it doesn't like to do it for me. Hold on a second. We're going to get this done. So if I try to do all 3 and they're in a zip file, it won't let me. So I have to do them one at a time the old-fashioned way. All right. The final score. Did I only get 2 of them in? Aha, I got it to 1 there. What did I get? I need to get the player of the game. Where's it at? All right, I think that would be it. All right, there we go. So the final score. Here we go, guys. You ready? High tech here on the Locked On Podcast Network. 39-38. Doesn't that look good after 38-34 last week? The dreaded win, no covers, yes, albeit not getting any help in that department, but the over, looking good, and obviously the win is the win, and you take the bad beat. It's not a bad beat when you were down 25. You knew you were losing a bet in the second quarter. You knew that was over. So, yeah, maybe you were worried about that. You weren't worried about the final score. And you might have been worried about the final score, as I was when it was 35-10. I mean, come on, right? And it was yeah. So anyway, next up we have the moment. Cam Ward chooses to wear cape. That's the moment tonight, guys. I mean, I don't know. There's moments in the game where we could joke around and be facetious about it, and we could talk about Miami's performance here tonight. And where did that just go? Where did no, don't be doing that to me. Okay, we can talk about Miami's performance tonight in the first half, where they were atrocious, and they were dominating, by the way. First downs, time of possession. It literally was just the big passing touchdowns and the pick six, but it was 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns. I mean, Miami dominated the stats in this game. I mean, if I read them to you, which I'll read a couple, I don't have time to read them. I mean, 30 first downs to 13, 7 of 16 on third down to 2 of 10, 575 to 370 yards. These numbers got skewed, obviously, as the game went on. You know what I mean? Time of possession, 37 to 22. Miami was dominating these stats throughout the entire game. And at the end of the game, what it came down to was stopping, giving up those stupid big plays on offense, and then the pick six with Cam. Obviously, that was a big one. So Cam choosing to put on the cape was a huge part of it. But that is the reason I say it like that is because his teammates feed off him. Remember, I just told you. I feel it. You feel it from wherever we are through the screen. His calm, his cool, his winning attitude and demeanor. Then his teammates feeling it big time. His weapons, to have a guy like that throwing you the ball, to have a guy like that when you're the coach, just to have a guy like that, period. I mean, it's too bad it's one and done, but we love Cam Ward, and we're happy that he is here this year. So Cam chose to put on the cape in the fourth quarter of this game, really. Third quarter, for all intents and purposes, but, he threw the interception for a touchdown, and from there on, I mean, it was at 13:07 of the third. They came out and punted. Right after that, he threw incomplete on 3rd and 5 after the pick six, and he didn't miss anything after that. I mean, after that, it was touchdown, 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 end of game. And that was Cam Ward at his brilliant best. Heisman campaign in full effect. Full effect. He'll be in New York, without a doubt. He will be in Nueva. So when Cam chose to put on the cape after the pick six and the 3rd and 5 incompletion is the turning point of the game. And I mean, what am I going to do, guys? What am I going to do? I know sharing is caring, Cam. He's not sharing the Player of the Game awards, but who the heck else are you going to give it to? He spreads the ball around too much to those weapons on offense. Nobody on defense has stepped up and made huge plays. Defensive touchdown, special teams touchdowns. Nope. So every single week, unless you guys start working with me here and some of you other guys on defense and special teams and weapons like Restrepo, maybe with 2 touchdowns tonight, would have gotten it with the 7 catches for $1 and change. But no, he did not see the end zone. So our Player of the Week, 35 for 53, 437, 2 touchdowns, and a very costly pick six. Also 6 for 15 and another touchdown on the ground. But more importantly, a second consecutive flawless fourth quarter, a second consecutive beautiful comeback win. And this time he does it on the road at Cal in a conference game, playing against the team that he was playing against last year in his old conference, had history with. This dude has just been phenomenal, and we're very, as I said, lucky to have Cam Ward. All right, let's pull this down and let you, one more time, let you know that you are watching your Locked On Canes postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We're free wherever you get your podcasts. That means Apple Podcasts. That means iHeart. That means Stitcher. That means Spotify. That means wherever you get your podcasts. And then here on YouTube as well, Locked On Canes with Alex Dono day by day. Me with the postcast after the game. Big one coming up against Louisville, man. Against Louisville. And I would love to have more time to preview that, but we have a bye week in between, and Alex will hit it every day on Locked On Canes as well. And I just want to check one more thing before we bounce on out of here with the chat room, guys. I love coming in there. New comments coming in like crazy. Zebras always screw Miami. Not these last 2 weeks, man. They never should have scored. They never should have ruled that Virginia Tech play a touchdown on the field. That was one of the worst calls I've ever seen. To actually rule that a touchdown on the field was egregious. It was so egregious that they overruled it. Do you know what they have to see to overrule it? They have to see their future in front of them going, dang, if Miami's not undefeated, we lose a lot of cash in the playoff. No, I'm kidding. Conspiracy theorists unite, right? If they would have called targeting that would have been, I said it earlier, you might as well put orange and green dresses on them. You might as well ask them what their pronouns are on the football field when they're applying to play. And I shouldn't say anything else. I might get myself in trouble for that. But what I'm saying is, if that's a penalty, then you should probably play another sport, watch another sport, ref another sport. If anybody, and Brock here, targeting, the announcers hate us. I can't wait till we're playing like Alabama or Georgia in the playoff and a call like that happens and Cam Ward comes back from down 13 in the fourth quarter on Bama and Reese Davis has a heart attack during the middle of the drive because he can't believe Miami's beating Bama. They're cheating. That's all they do. They cheat. Oh, man, they hate us, don't they? Why do they still hate us? I mean, that's a classy program that Mario's running. They don't like the NIL and the transfer portal with Miami. They view that as our only way back, and really it is our only way back, but we're back. So what do we care? We got the NIL money. We got the transfer portal. Nevin Shapiro's doing podcasts. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely, I can mention Nevin Shapiro. I'm not affiliated with the university. They don't like his name in Coral Gables, I'll tell you that. But he was a part of some real things that really helped a lot of things happen that you and other people have things from. Yeah, so there you go. Dirty little secrets and dirty little words. But what a win tonight for Miami. And college athletes should have been paid all along, right? Michael Irvin was riding his bike from Fort Lauderdale 15 miles to watch the Canes practice. He should have been getting NIL money. Michael Irvin should get NIL money now for what he's doing on the sidelines. What an awesome night. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Locked on Canes with Alex Dono tomorrow. Very important that you check that out. Also very important before you leave, please subscribe right now. Hit that bell so you know when we're coming with more content. Like, engage, keep coming in the chat. Really appreciate you guys. We are 6-0. It's all about you right here with the Locked On Canes postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Get rowdy, Miami. It's still on South Beach. What do we got? Oh, come on. It's not even 3:30 yet. You got plenty of time, man. Head on down. Maybe not South Beach. Maybe it's Las Olas. Maybe it's Atlantic Avenue. Wherever you're at. And I know it's 3:30. Everything's closed at 2. But who cares? It's all about the you. It's been a great night. Thank you for staying up. Thank you for kicking it with me on this postcast. And don't forget to check out Alex tomorrow. Locked On Canes. On the Locked On Podcast Network. I will be back tomorrow after the Dolphins debacle in Foxborough. Who in the heck knows what's going to go on there? If you're a Fins fan, you'd be praying. But, hey, we'll see. Hopefully Tua gets healthy and keeps playing. But we have a 10 o'clock. Sorry, my eyes. 1 o'clock kickoff on the East Coast tomorrow. 1 o'clock kickoff in Foxborough. The Dolphins in Foxborough taking on the Can we still call them the Cheatriots? We can, right? So the Dolphins-Pats at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Right after that game, come on back for your Locked On Dolphins postcast. And then Kyle Krabs every day with Locked On Dolphins does a fantastic job as well. We're the triangle, me, Alex, and Kyle. It's the Rock in here. It's the Locked On Canes postcast. Thank you to Game Time. Thank you to FanDuel. And thank you, Cam Ward. And thank you for watching and listening here today. Locked On Canes postcast. Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease at Jim Grease _ GRIES, kind of like CANES. Canes, keep your game tight and your mind right, Canes fam. 6-0, 39-38 over Cal on the road, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your Canes every single day.